Hey everyone, welcome to Breakout Wednesday. It is the 6th of August 2025. It's currently 9 a.m. on the West Coast, 11 a.m. on the East Coast. First of all, remember, this is never financial advice, not a financial advisor. This is simply a video blog on how one trader sees market. And everyone needs to take responsibility for their own decisions, okay? So, well, Lord's made a new high yesterday and is up again a little bit this morning, probably even stronger than the US markets. But it doesn't mean like, on the trading side of things, there's been some fake outs. It hasn't been as easy as the indices would let you believe. So there's certainly been a lot of fake outs and kind of scratch and small losing trades, as well as some good ones in there. But that's the way things go. It's a matter of just staying in there and just until you get those runaway winners, what's strong at the moment, like the non-bank finance lenders have been rallying, like CCP was up massive yesterday. A lot of these alternate finance stocks have been flying. And obviously the macro conditions they're pretty good for them, and it's probably going to continue for a little bit. Let's just quickly look at some of the trades like that we're talking about. Cat. All right. I'm out of Cat for a small win. I just like, I don't know. I didn't really like yesterday's candle and decided just to, get out before close. So it's pretty much a scratch. Let's just call it a scratch because, the win and that is pretty insignificant. CPU, all right. Very small loss in CPU. Just faked out. The next day, bang. Okay. Beautiful setup, but, I just want these ones to go. Like when the market's flirting with new all-time highs, they should just be rallying, okay? I still think this one will probably recover and start breaking out again, so it's on the watch list. I will re-enter it, but small loss there. Didn't take the OML one, but that has been triggered, and Zipped got triggered, but I'm actually not in it either, right? Left that one alone. I just wanted to talk today really about, like, I've got some new trades setting up first of all, but I want to quickly talk about the long-term stuff and versus the trading, right? I think as I get older and older, the long-term account is kind of, I start realizing how awesome it is and powerful it is. And I know I've been in a lot of these for many years. Like Zero is kind of not the most successful, but one of. This is the one I started talking about back here when it started. At the bottom of this tech bear market, when no one wanted to know about tech stocks and stuff, and we're entering it around here, and I've kind of doubled my money on that. There's ResMed, okay, which as I've talked about like hundreds of times, probably I've bought I don't know how many times, well over 10 times on different parcels. Never sold a single share, and it's just I just believe in it, and the whole saying, always have a stop loss, never marry a stock. I've done the opposite. I don't have a stop loss, and I've married the stock. Okay, and it's one of the biggest wins of my entire life. And so it's just, there is no rules out there. There's no one who can tell you this is how you should always do it. Seriously, like I just think everyone needs to figure this shit out themselves. And I do know with ResMed that it's caused me not a great deal, but some emotional turmoil. For example, when it was dumping with the Ozempic stuff, and a huge amount of money got wiped away, but I just held firm, and I think that's what fundamental long-term investing is just believing in something and literally pretending like it's your own company. Like if you start your own business and it doesn't go well for a few years, do you give up or do you double down and work your ass off and believe in it? And it's kind of similar with the stocks that I believe in long term. Doesn't mean that some of them I don't admit when I'm wrong. Like I was wrong in S&P, right? This is that one I was getting in about $1.40, wherever it was. I think it was $1.39 or something up here. Obviously that dumped, lost like a lot of money, and then it's been caught in a takeover offer, and so I've made most of it back. Wouldn't say most of it back, I'm still down, a good 30% or something, So you don't win them all, but the odd 25-30% loss is nothing when you can triple, double, quadruple, 10 bag your money on some of the runaway winners, right? There's so many others. Like I don't want to, talk about shit that's gone well all day long, even though I just talked about S&P that didn't go well. But gear, like I've talked about gear so often, right? And if you don't have the belief in yourself to find great companies and buy them when there's blood on the streets, like I've talked about gear since 2000 and whenever, like COVID, or before. I was talking about it in 2018, 2019, wasn't I? And like I've bought this so many times. I've documented it here on on Facebook here, the forum, Twitter, whatever. Like whenever there's blood on the streets, I'm buying gear. Okay, and I've never sold a share of gear. Like I just don't understand why I would. I'm young enough. I can sit in there for another few decades, and whenever there's blood on the streets, I buy more. I just think that if I was 18 again, or 20 again, or hell, if I was 40 again, I would still be focusing a huge amount of my account into these passive long-term things where you don't need to do jack shit other than track them. I love the charts because you can really helps you determine when there's blood on the streets, right? You get those Bollinger Bands out, you look at old support, you look at when it's extended far below its 200 exponential moving average, and you look whenever all your mates are desperately selling like a bunch of losers, and you step up and buy the bloody things, and so, but we go through all that on the forum and on here and pretty much help each other pick those lows, even though I must admit I didn't get that low here, did I? Remember, I was the one, I think I was buying that day. Thought it was a low, and then it wasn't, but still worked out pretty good. And so anyway, I just talk about that because I know that we're pro trader and, everyone loves trading, but when I look at some of the gains that has been made in stuff like Gear and ResMed and others, it does beg the question that this is a beautiful way to build wealth, okay? Over the long term. In the short term, it's risky. In the long term, it's risky not to do it, right? Now, that's that. Now, back to the trading. Obviously, I'm always going to trade. I love it. The money can be brilliant when it's going well, okay? There's periods where you need to cut your losses and your account grind sideways and has little falls, but that's life and that's the same in long-term investing too. Trading is just about sticking in the game and catching those huge winners. This isn't a trade yet, ADT. I'm just looking at these guys base up here and just think, they had these big gap ups and runs. A lot of these kind of metals and mining stocks did this. And I talked about it last week, and a lot of them are basing. And so I'm just looking at these guys, and I'm trying to find the leaders, and I'm saying, okay, if you base up and tighten up long enough, sure, I will have a crack. Okay, so ADT is one I'm watching. It's interesting that Woodside is putting in this, this is just a huge bottom, really. But we just take a bigger picture look at this in terms of its long-term downtrends here. This kind of aggressive rally through it, and then we have our first pullback post that big breakout of that huge long kind of resistance line, right? And now we're basing the moving averages are all getting on top of each other. Let's go back, do some study, and just even let's just an example that I've talked about at the time, not just in hindsight, is zero, right? Look at some of the bottom end shit that was going on with zero back here, right? And all the moving average started hopping on top. It started breaking these long down sloping resistance lines. Okay, it started trending up. And no one's getting really interested in it here, really, other than the technicians and hopefully the wise ones. But then people are talking about it more once it's gone up a hell of a lot. And Woodside's was in trouble for so long, out of favor with everyone. And it's just showing signs from a few technical point. I don't want to go on its fundamentals because I'm no expert at that. I'm not going to pretend I am, but anyway, it's interesting, hey? I wouldn't be trading that personally. It's just I don't know. I just think for me, I'd be looking at the big picture of that and thinking, okay, is this worthwhile having a crack at riding this guy like the 0-1, for a decent, significant chunk of time based on how long that downtrend was and the significance and the volume that came in on this big breakout of it, you know. That's that. And, you know, it's been chatted about on the forum. I just was checking the forum out just then. I've been a bit quiet. I apologize. I just, kid stuff, you know. Life is busy. I was just looking at some Zip stuff before. Where was it? Yeah. TRE Golden Africa. We've had some posts this morning. Craig and yeah. I bless the gains. I hadn't seen all that. Yeah, so it's like it just got my attention just because of the significance of like just like wow, like resistance here obviously, and then bang, another crack at it, and then this huge like it went from what, like 34 to 11 shit, and then it's just rallied back up, and then just how many cracks, like 1, 2, 3, you know, all these little cracks at 34, and it's pretty thin, this stock. Like I don't even know if I'm going to get a fill, you know. It's just interesting. The resistance massive. It's a Goldie, you know, it could just fly, you know. I've been hey, for those who remember my investment, just talking about bad investments, it's not even listed anymore. ASO, Aston Minerals, was like one of my worst long-term investments ever. It went from like, I think I bought it at 13 cents. It went to pretty much zero. They got taken out. They merged with TOR, right? This is this TOR one here. If you can Google it, merger with TOR and ASO. I never sold my ASOs. Like just my investment went to like pretty much nothing. It was pretty awful. But now TOR's like gone nuts, and I'm only down about 50% now. So it just needs to double from here, and you know, so. It's funny, but a lot of these long-term things eventually do come back. But yeah, that's far from my best investment, guys. I just want to leave on that note. Like, I'm not claiming I'm the world's best long-term investor, right? You get a lot wrong, you know, but it doesn't matter. Like, even if you're looking at risk reward, like you get some wrong and they go to zero. But if you just have a few big winners, it's this great thread on the forum here, like this stuff, just going into some of these you know, hunting for specs, Sally, like it's, you know, it's like if you can get some of them right, you know, you can make 10-1, 21, 31, you know, those things are possible, but no one ever sat with anything, you know, for that long and made that money without truly, believing in it, right? So you're going to have to believe in it in order to have the resilience to sit with it and be tenacious enough, right? That's it. I'm going to get out of here. It might be a while until I can actually find time to post this, but I will get it done. Cheers. Catch ya.